In this video, we are going to learn about human digestive system. Let's begin with the nutrition. These are processes by which organisms obtain and utilize their food. There are two parts to nutrition. The first one is ingestion, which is a process of taking food into the digestive system so that it may be hydrolyzed or digested. The second part is digestion, which is the breakdown of food either chemically or mechanically in order to utilize nutrients. Types of nutrients, there are two of them. Micronutrients, which includes vitamins, minerals and water. Then you have macronutrients, which includes proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, amongst others. The human digestive system is a complex system with so many organs, including the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the liver, the pancreas, the duodenum, the ileum, and the large intestine, amongst others. The gastrointestinal tract is also known as the alimentary canal. Let's begin with the ingestion. Ingestion begins from the mouth, and here we have mechanical digestion that takes place and chemical digestion. So in mechanical digestion, it involves teeth, whereby teeth breaks down large footy particles into smaller ones. On the other hand, chemical digestion involves saliva, which contains amylase, mucin, buffers, and bacterial chemicals. Now, amylase digests starch into maltase. Mucin is a slippery protein, also known as mucus, which protects soft lining of digestive system. It lubricates food for easier swallowing. On the other hand, buffers neutralizes acid to prevent tooth decay. The antibacterial chemicals kill bacteria that enter the mouth with food. Now, what does the mouth do? It simply breaks up food, digests starch, kills germs, moistens food. The mouth carries both chemical and mechanical digestion. Here, food is chewed or masticated mechanically. A bolus, or what is known as lump, is formed with the help of the saliva and the tongue. Now let's look at swallowing and not choking. Swallowing is helped by the two organs. Number one is epiglottis, which is a flap of cartilage that closes the trachea, or rather the windpipe, when swallowing. That is when food travels down the esophagus. Number two is peristalsis, which is involuntary contraction to move food along the alimentary canal, and that is from the esophagus into the stomach. Now, which type of digestion is the following? Chewing a saltine, saliva breaking the saltine down into the molecules of glucose, your tongue breaking pieces of hamburger apart, pepsin and enzyme in your stomach breaking the hamburger into amino acid. Now pause the video and try to work it out. What did you get? Chewing a saltine is a mechanical digestion. Saliva breaking the saltine down into the molecules of glucose is a chemical digestion. Your tongue breaking pieces of hamburger apart is a mechanical digestion. Then pepsin and enzyme in your stomach breaking the hamburger into amino acid is a chemical digestion. Let's look at an organ known as pharynx. Pharynx is the back of the throat. It has larynx, which is the passage for air that closes when you swallow. It is approximately 15 centimeters long. The digestive glands is a group of specialized secretory cells. For example, the diagram there, they include sublingual glands, submandibular glands, and parotid glands. They are found in the lining of the alimentary canal or accessory organs. Peristalsis is a series of involuntary wave-like muscle contraction which move food along the digestive tract, as shown in the diagram. The circular muscles and the longitudinal muscles contract and relax to push the food along the digestive tract. The stomach usually stores food temporarily. The gastric juices are secreted here. It has layers of muscles that line the inside and mechanically and chemically breaks down food. The function of the stomach, number one, is food storage. It can stretch to fit 2 liters of food. Number two function is disinfect food because it has hydrochloric acid with a pH of 2 that kills bacteria, and number 3, chemical digestion using an enzyme known as pepsin that breaks down proteins. The inactive form of pepsin is pepsinogen, which is activated into pepsin by hydrochloric acid in the presence of food. Pepsin is secreted in an inactive form called pepsinogen by specialized chief cells in gastric pits, as you can see from the diagram. The parietal cells also in the pit secrete hydrochloric acid, which converts pepsinogen to the active pepsin only when both reach the lumen of the stomach, minimizing self-digestion. Also, in a positive feedback system, activated pepsin can activate more pepsinogen molecules. Now, but the stomach is made out of protein. What stops the stomach from digesting itself? Mucus secreted by stomach cells protects stomach lining. Now, the summary of digestion in the mouth, that is number 1, break up food, digest starch, kill germs, moisten food. While in the stomach, it kills germs, breaks up food, digests proteins, and store food. Let's look at the gastric juices. They are secreted by the stomach. They are acidic with a pH of 1.5 ranging from 1.5 to 2.5. Pepsin is an enzyme that breaks down large proteins into amino acids. Food is further broken down into a thin liquid called chyme. Taking the heart out of heartburn, the esophagus has a ring of muscles at the top and bottom. If the bottom ring of muscles doesn't keep the lower part of the esophagus tightly closed between swallows, acid from the stomach can come back up into the esophagus. This creates a burning sensation called heartburn, but it has nothing to do with the heart. The pain a person may feel is the area of the heart, but it would make more sense to call it esophagus burn. Accessory organs include pancreas, gall bladder, and the spleen, as you can see from the diagram. Gallbladder is a pouch structure located near the liver which concentrates and stores bile. On the other hand, the bile duct is a long tube that carries bile. The top half of the common bile duct is associated with the liver, while the bottom half of the common bile duct is associated with the pancreas, through which it passes on its way to the intestine. Bile emulsifies lipid, that is, physically or mechanically breaks apart fats. Bile is a bitter, greenish, yellow alkaline fluid stored in the gallbladder between meals and upon eating is discharged into the duodenum, where it aids in the process of digestion. Pancreas is an organ which secretes both digestive enzymes, exocrine, and hormones which it refers to as endocrine. Pancreatic juice digests all major nutrient types. Nearly all digestion occurs in the small intestine, and all digestion is completed in the small intestine. Pancreas releases digestive enzymes. Let's look at the ones that digest proteins include trypsin and chymotrypsin. The one that digests starch include amylase. Also, it releases buffers that neutralizes acid from the stomach. You can see this diagram that shows the connection between the pancreas and the gallbladder with ducts, that is the pancreatic duct, hepatic duct, that secretes directly into the duodenum. The function of the liver includes production of bile. Here, bile is stored in gallbladder until it's needed. The function of the bile is to break up large fat molecules into smaller ones, so it acts like detergents to break up fats. Bile contains colors from old red blood cells collected in liver. Iron in red blood cells rust and makes feces brown. Now the mouth breaks up food, digests starch, kills germs, moistens food. The stomach kills germs, breaks up food, digests proteins and stores food. On the other hand, the pancreas produces enzymes to digest proteins and starch. The liver produces bile stored in gallbladder that breaks up fats. The small intestine. Most chemical digestion takes place here. Simple sugars and proteins are absorbed into the inner lining. Fatty acids and glycerols go into the lymphatic system. Lined with villi, which increases surface area for absorption and is also 1 cell thick. The function of small intestine include chemical digestion, major organ of digestion and absorption. Absorption through the lining. The small intestine is over 6 meters in length. It has huge surface area, approximately 300 meters square, which is the size of a tennis court. The structure of small intestine, it has 3 sections. The first section is duodenum, where most digestion takes place, jejunum, where absorption of nutrients and water takes place, and lastly ileum, where absorption of nutrients and water also takes place. The duodenum is the first section of small intestine. Here, acid food from stomach gets into the duodenum. It mixes with the digestive juices from pancreas, liver, gallbladder. What does pancreas do? It produces enzymes to digest proteins and starch. The stomach kills germs, breaks up food, digests proteins, and store food. The mouth breaks up food, digests starch, kills germs, and moistens food. Absorption in the small intestine. Much absorption is thought to occur directly through the wall without the need for special adaptation. Almost 90% of our daily fluid intake is absorbed in the small intestine. Villi increase the surface area of the small intestine, thus providing the better absorption of materials. Absorption through the villi and microvilli. These are finger-like projections that increases surface area for absorption. The large intestine, also known as the colon, its function is simply to reabsorb water. We use 9 liters of water every day in digestive juices. 90%, more than 90% of water is reabsorbed. Not enough water absorbed due to diarrhea. There is too much water absorbed due to constipation. The large intestine, usually the solid material passes through the large intestine. These are undigestible solid fibers. Water is also absorbed. Vitamin K and B are reabsorbed with the water. Lastly, the rectum. Solid waste exits the body. You also got company. You've got a company. Living in the large intestine is a community of helpful bacteria. Number 1 is known as Escherichia coli, or commonly known as E. coli. They produce vitamin K, B. They also generate gases, byproduct of bacterial metabolism, which include methane and hydrogen sulfide. The appendix is a vestigial organ. As you can see on the diagram there, that is appendix, which is a vestigial organ that is a ascending portion of large intestine, with appendix attached immediately after the cecum. Rectum is the last section of colon of the large intestine. It eliminates feces, this undigested material. It extracellular waste, mainly cellulose from plant or roughage or fiber or masses of bacteria. Let's look at digestive homeostasis disorders. Number 1 is ulcers. Ulcers, this is erosion of the surface of the alimentary canal, generally associated with some kind of irritant. We have constipation, a condition in which the large intestine is emptied with difficulty. Too much water is reabsorbed and the solid waste hardens. There is also diarrhea, a gastrointestinal disturbance characterized by decreased water absorption and increased peristaltic activity of the large intestine. This results in increased multiple watery feces. This condition may result in severe dehydration, especially in infants. There is also appendicitis, an inflammation of the appendix due to infection. Common treatment is removal of the appendix via surgery. Lastly, we have gallstones, an accumulation of hardened cholesterol or calcium deposits in the gallbladder. Then we have anorexia nervosa, a psychological condition where an individual thinks they appear overweight and refuses to eat. Weighs 85% or less than what is developmentally expected for age and height. Young girls do not begin to menstruate at the appropriate age. We have heartburn, also an acid from the stomach that backs up into the esophagus.